All right, guys, what's up? Welcome to Big T Chats, episode 2. In this episode, we interview Vinny Berry. He is the host of his own podcast. He has written 3 books about wrestling and wrestlers involved in these 3 books. And you'll get to know him a little bit more in this interview and what he does. I just wanted to shout him out. I was doing the interview with That Dude Talks, Buddy Christian, and he actually approached me and asked if I was interested in maybe doing an interview with him and what he does. So, of course I told him yes, and I almost forgot about doing the interview, but remembered and thankfully got it going. So he was a very cool guy. I've actually listened to 3 of his podcast episodes. One was Maddie Renkowski, the other Thunder Rosa, and Moonshine Mantel, which all were pretty damn good. And, it's never boring. There's never any pauses in his podcast, so he's got a pretty good thing going. So if you guys want to check him out, info is in the video that you're about to watch. Thank you guys. All right, so you are here with Vinny Berry. Sorry, I already butchered your name. The author of you said the author of what?
I am the author of 3 wrestling books. I'm the podcaster for Wrestleville.com.
Okay, cool, awesome.
And I have 3 wrestling books. One is on Lance by Chance, the Wrestling as a Von Erich. It's based on everything that happened during the early 80s to the, basically the rise and fall of World Class Championship Wrestling.
Okay, awesome, man.
And then my other 2 books is the Pro Wrestling Vault Volume 1 and Volume 2. And they are short stories. There's, between the 2 of them, there's about 85 stories in here.
Awesome, man.
All first-hand accounts.
Okay, cool.
From the wrestlers themselves.
What got you into writing these books, man? I mean, of course, probably your love for wrestling, but anything that drove you to start writing?
Man, I've always liked wrestling, and I was writing a lot of MMA and boxing, and that kind of dried up in the Rio Grande Valley, so I just started writing about wrestlers. I had some connections, and I started reaching out to some wrestlers, and before you know it, I was getting guys like Harley Race and Larry Henning, Tracy Smothers, Ricky Morton. I even got, before he passed away, Jimmy Rave, So, I mean, I was really fortunate to preserve some of these stories,
Yeah. That's awesome. Also, you said you host a podcast. Do you host wrestlers, or is that just like friends and talk about wrestling, or is that just yourself?
No, it's a platform where I invite a wrestler on. We talk about how they got started, or someone might talk about, maybe a turning point in their life, a turning point in their career. But it's basically, it's not one of those shows like, hey, talking about what happened last night.
Yeah.
We're again, it's kind of like taking their story, recording it, and,
awesome.
you go back 10, 15 years or a couple years and you see where they were at.
Just reminisce
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome, man. And how often do you do that podcast? Is it like a weekly thing, or?
I try to put 2 on a week.
Okay, cool.
And the one I have on right now is recently recorded. It was with Mark Youngblood. He's from a wrestling family in the 80s. His father was a wrestler. His brothers Jay and Chris were wrestlers, and he was in Puerto Rico the night Bruiser Brody incident took place. And he talks about that, and he talks about it in the podcast how there's a lot of people over the years, like he says that Tony Atlas's story has changed over and over and over, and he said his story's never changed.
That's awesome, man. Gonna make it short because we're about 7 minutes until showtime. I almost forgot about this interview, man, but I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Vinny Berry.
Wrestleville.com.
And if you guys are interested, Wrestleville.com, you guys are interested in any of his books, I will post them in the video. And appreciate your time again, man. Thank you.